I'm still mad about that. And now he plays for a team in Ohio. Irony.
That was such a good game, though. Like, taking
it really was. I'll give you
so
that.
Good.
It was a good game. It bothers me. To be honest, that game doesn't bother me because that was a competitive game that went back and forth. That doesn't bother me nearly as much as the Clemson game in the playoff last year because the Clemson game, Ohio State was fucking straight robbed.
Yeah,
I don't mind being beat by a team that wants to go back and forth and ends up being better than us on the scoreboard. I have a problem when there's interference and there's other calls that could have been made that went different ways and it cost the team the game because they were questionable at best calls.
I kind of know how you feel because Penn State got fucking robbed that Minnesota game. Not the same level, it wasn't in the playoff, but there were 3 straight plays that they didn't call pass interference that they should have.
Right. And see, that's also what makes college football so entertaining to me because anything is fucking possible. I mean, for a couple of seconds, Miami University was the national champions over Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl in 2006, and then a flag was thrown.
Crazy.
You legitimately won the national title just to be told, oh, wait a second, no, you didn't go back on the field.
Right. Yeah.
Instead, it was raining, and they told the players to go back on the field.
We just got robbed last season because I 100% believe that the speed of Ohio State's defense would have matched up way better against Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Thad Moss in the national championship. And I think that just Ohio State LSU would have been a way better game than LSU Clemson was.
Oh, 100%. And I don't know that Ohio State would have ever beat LSU. I don't know that we could have. I think that we would have been able to strategize against Burrow better. And you saw the result of the game. I think it would have been a better game if Ohio State was there.
Just because of the individual matchups, that's exactly what I think.
Right. And to go back to what we were talking about, if they limit down the season, because we know if we do only conferences, let's just say that the NCAA goes to only conference games. You know that the way that voters and the way that college football is perceived, that the SEC is going to have a huge advantage over everyone. No matter what, it's going to be the case. And it seems fucked up to say, but this may only help push the narrative that the playoff needs to be expanded. I don't think there's nobody that in our podcast that disagrees that the playoff should be expanded.
In fact, I think I'm the outlier for saying it should go to 16 teams.
Right, and I don't think that we need to make that jump immediately. I can see where you're coming from, but I definitely think at the very least it should be 8. It absolutely should be. You should have all of the Power 5 number ones in there and 3 at large. Now, that could be 2 from either one of the Power 5s, but if there's a UCF that's undefeated, they deserve a chance. Okay, listen, you were undefeated. That's great. You didn't play that great of competition. Now you get to play Alabama. Prove it or shut up.
I mean, personally, I think if you're going to do only conference play, then you have to expand it to 10 teams, and the winner of each conference gets into the playoffs. No at large. If that's what you're going to do for this season, that's how it should be. Top 2 teams are on bye, and then the other 8 teams do a playoff just like you normally would.
And that's a good possibility. I mean, maybe this even opens the door for college football to play around with the idea of expansion, to do something like what you're talking about. Just because it's a one-off season, that none of what we're talking about as far as playoffs, seasons, or actual games is normal. This is all a test run for all of this.
Right.
For a one-off scenario, so you might as well play around and experiment while you're, and I hate to use this term, given the opportunity.
Right. No, you're right. I feel like more needs to be done on the college side to actually get the season going. But, again, who are the ones that are able to make shit happen? The ones who stand to lose a fuck ton of money. And one thing that I just thought of, and you and I are going to have the same response, there's going to be one team who doesn't want to hear, well, no, we don't want to do just conference games. And that's Notre Dame. Fuck them. Join a fucking conference.
Yeah, but with their privatized fucking rights in their games, I don't give a shit. Play whoever the fuck you want.
No, you're in the ACC and every other sport. You're in the fucking ACC. Just join it.
Yeah, or fucking switch and go to the Big Ten where you fucking belong anyway.
Exactly. Get Rutgers out and bring them in.
There's plenty of teams that you could, yeah, Rutgers doesn't need to be here anymore. The Rutgers can join the Big East for all I give a shit. Or whatever the fuck they are now, the American Athletic Conference.
But Maryland needs to stay in the Big Ten. Maryland's getting some real shit, and it looks like they're on the way up. So,
alright, I'll believe that when I fucking see it, but until Maryland stops losing games by fucking 40, I can't agree with you.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Maryland got more 4-star recruits than USC did. They out-recruited USC this year.
That might be true, but USC is a train wreck right now. USC is so bad that they had to reinstate the 2005 season to make them feel better. So they cheated.
Damn.
Oh!
That's how bad it is at USC.
That's fucking hilarious, Tony. Anyways, let's move on. Like we said, NFL does have the ability to see what other leagues are doing. I'm not as worried about them. They're pushed farther out. They can see the trends and make adjustments on the fly. So we've seen them change rules mid-season already. The horse collar rule is one of them, etc. So the NFL can adapt. What about the NHL? As we said earlier, NHL's identified 8 hub cities. They cut it down to 6 hub cities. They want one in the East, one in the West, and they're just going to go straight to the playoffs. It's how many teams are in the playoff?
24 teams are in the playoff, which is bananas. But
imagine being one of the 6 that didn't make the cut.
But it's not just that you're in. There's 4 teams in each conference that are the top seeds that are shoo-in. Everyone else has to play in. They have to do a best of 5 to actually, get into the next round. And the top 4 seeds also have to do a round robin tournament in order to determine final seeding. So they're not just automatically in, first, second, third, fourth. That's still yet to be determined.
Do we know who those 4 teams are in each conference?
Yes, and I can pull that up momentarily.
All I know is the Las Vegas Golden Knights have made the playoffs their first 3 seasons in a row.
Yep. Do you know what? Do you know what team went to the Stanley Cup Finals their first 3 seasons?
I do not.
The St. Louis Blues, first 3 seasons in existence, went to the Stanley Cup Finals.
And yet it took them all this time to actually win it.
Yeah, they weren't a very good team when they went. Yep.
Neither is Vegas.
Vegas was what, 1 game away from the Stanley Cup Finals?
Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in the Stanley Cup Finals their first year.
Yeah. Oh, actually, they were eliminating the first round last year. They were 1 game away from advancing. That's what I meant.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm still gonna root for them because give me the goddamn Whalers.
Yep. I knew that was coming.
I'm with it. Rangers are, obviously in, which is awesome. Playing the Hurricanes, who we have dominated historically and dominated all season. So
You mean the Oilers?
that, yeah. So hopefully, Cone, we can dominate them so bad that they just give it up in Carolina and come back.
10+ goals. Bring them back to Hartford.
Dan, back to your question. I believe the top 4 in the East are the Bruins, Lightning, Capitals, and Flyers.
I knew 3 of them. It was the Flyers. I didn't know.
In the West, it's the Blues, Avalanche, Golden Knights, and your Dallas Stars.
Fuck yeah, it's the Stars. I just wanted to hear you say it. I knew.
Avalanche?
Yeah, Avalanche turned it the hell around this season.
Because they were
If you've been watching
last year.
Yeah, they are a team to watch. They were so bad last year, and some of it, a little bit, was due to injury, granted, but their turnaround has been fantastic to watch. They're gonna be a fun playoff team, and you Golden Knights and Stars fans better watch out. I know.
Listen,
I
man.
mean, the Stars I could see because the Stars have always been dancing around in that area, but the Avalanche were so bad that you're telling me that they went from so bad to top 4?
To second, 42, 20, and 8.
Who's number 1 in the West?
The Blues.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But so I'm looking forward to this. I think the hockey playoff setup is going to be really fun to watch. I know some teams have complained about it. They didn't want to be in this 5-game.
I mean, it's confusing as shit.
But I think it makes sense because so many teams were right on the bubble that it's you have no idea what would have happened in the final month of hockey, and to say that you do and to just give it to the teams that were in those top positions a month before the end of the season isn't fair. So I do think this was a decent way to go about it. So we'll see. I hope all players can stay safe. I miss sports tremendously, but I also don't want anybody to die for a sport.
Just like we're dying for sports.
You're my entertainment. Dance for me, clown.
It does make you think on how much we value it. Obviously, given that we do this freaking podcast every week, we are big sports fans, and going without any these past couple months, it's just like wow.
I need to have sports back. I mean, we've had some really good documentaries recently. The Last Dance was awesome. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Long Gone Summer, that was a great documentary by 30 for 30 and ESPN. We've had a couple things to hold us over, but I can only watch the same cornhole championship so many times.
Then just do what I do. Watch a classic sporting game, on YouTube. I can't even tell you how many college football games. I've gone through.
I did watch one, and it was that 06 Ohio State against Miami. That was when Willis McGahee blew out his knee. There was a ton of really good players in that game.
That's what I've been doing is watching. Like, I've gotten through so many college football games. Like, I got to relive Michigan losing to Appalachian State, fucking awesome. I've got to watch Oklahoma lose to Boise State, Texas Tech taking care of business against Texas, and Colt McCoy looking just completely stupid on the sideline.
Did you happen to catch in the sports jungle that even though Ohio State isn't going to play Alabama until 2027, that's 2,800 and something days away, and that's less days than it's been since Michigan actually beat Ohio State?
Yeah.
Damn.
Michigan beat Ohio State in 3,128 or some shit like that.
It's been 10 straight seasons.
Yeah, well, that's what you get.
And that's a rivalry? Shit, the games aren't even close half the time.
Well, I mean, You could argue that Troy Smith, the position where he